This is video number 77 for all of the instruments, violin, violoncello, and bass. In this video, we're going to learn to play number 125 in your Essential Elements book, so we'll be open to page 31, and you do need to have a pencil for this, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to number all of the measures in number 125, and I'm going to show you what it's going to look like, because there's a first and second ending in there. The violin book is at the top, the viola book's in the middle, and the cello bass. Y'all's book looks pretty much the same thing, so I just did one of those. Can't quite show all of them. Okay, this is the violin, this is the viola, this is the cello bass. Okay, pause your video so you can copy that. Notice that the first ending is measure 16, the second ending is measure 17. Remember the pickup note? We just learned pickup notes. Pickup note does not get a measure number, so measure 1 starts right there. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, if you weren't done, go back, pause the video, and get it fixed. I do want to show you something. This is going to be on the violin book, but it's going to be the same for everybody. So notice we have this pickup note here, and look where the repeat sign is right there. When you play this song, you play from here all the way here. Remember, first ending, we see the repeat sign. Then we go back to measure 1, not to the beginning. There's a difference. The beginning, it has the pickup note. Measure 1 is where we go back to, right there. All right, those repeat signs, sorry, act like parentheses almost. You play everything in between them, okay? So that, when I say parentheses, it's because they face each other like parentheses do, right? So everything you repeat back to there, okay? Now, this song is kind of long, and sometimes I don't actually do the repeat, but we're going to go ahead and do that because I wanted to show you how a repeat sign works with a first and second ending and with a pickup note. So it's a little bit different. You don't go back to the beginning in this song, you go back to measure 1. And yes, those are two different things. I'm going to play on violin for this song. So I want you to just shadow both from the beginning. So let's look at the key signature and the time signature. The key signature has 1 sharp. 1 sharp means we're in G major. G major means only F's are sharp, nothing else is sharp. Only F's are sharp. There are no C sharps in this song. Every time you put a C down, it better be a C natural. And then it also has common time. Remember, common time is the same thing as 4/4 time. 4 beats in a measure, quarter note gets the beat. Common time. So if we're in 4/4 time, common time, and you have 1 pickup note, that means you're going to count to 1, 2, 3, and then beat 4 is the first note of this song. So if you want to look down at the second ending, how many beats are in that last measure? Well, I'm kind of not real happy they chose to remind you about a tie right here because there's a lot going on. But at the second ending, you have a half note G tied to a quarter note G. That's 3 beats. So where's beat 4? It's the pickup note. Okay, so the last measure, measure 17, has only 3 beats in it, even though we're in 4/4 time, because beat 4 is at the beginning. All right. Now, if you are not good at reading your G string notes, you're going to struggle with this one. So go back and practice the skill builders on page 31. Get really good at reading your G string notes, or you're really going to struggle with this song. One other thing I want to point out before we get started, measure 3, it's a very common problem for people to see the quarter notes slurred together and play them like 8th notes. So just make sure you follow me. I am going to turn a metronome on this time, but only with quarter notes on. I'm not going to put 8th notes on it, okay? Okay, beginning, shadow bow, up bow. Start at the tip of the bow, and we'll go slightly slower than that. 1, 2, 3, shadow bow. Slow bow, half note, measure 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. Okay, we're just going to do that much right now. Okay? Before we try that, play measure 3. Play measure 3, echo me. 1, 2, take, ready, go. G, 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 F sharp, E. Don't do this. This is very common. Those quarter notes were played like 8th notes, okay? Do 3 and 4, echo me. 1, 2, ready, go. F sharp, E, D, D. Now look at 7 and 8. Almost the same thing. Play 7 and 8. 1, 2, ready, go. G, 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 F sharp, E, open D, now B. Okay? Now look at measure 9. Measure 9, you're supposed to keep the C down while you play the E. Okay, so just bring that 1 over. Even for cellos, just bring that 1 over. Keep the 2, 3, and 4 down. Violins and violas, keep your 1, 2, and 3, or 2 and 3 down, and bring the first finger over. Shadow bow, measure 9 through 12. Only that. Shadow bow, measure 9 through 12. 2, ready, shadow bow. Independent fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that. Start at measure 9 with me. And 1, 2, measure 9, go. Okay, now look at 13 through 16. It's almost the same thing. The only thing different is the last note of 16 is a D instead of a B. Don't shadow bow, just play 13 through 16 with me. 13, 1, 2, right, say, go, play. What happens after measure 16? Measure 1 happens, not the beginning of the song. Measure 1 happens, okay? Let's try 13 through 16 again. 1, 2, 13, and go. Then you would go back to measure 1. Now, if it's the second time around, what would you do? You would skip to 17. You'd skip 16 and go to 17. Remember, you hop over. Remember how the first and second ending stuff works, right? The first time through, you play for the beginning, blah, blah, blah. You play from here. You do 16 and go back to 1. But then the second time, we do 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. That's what we will do. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and just try to play it from the beginning to the end. Okay? With the repeat. It's going to be kind of a long song. So if you feel that you need to practice it on your own, I would suggest 9 through 12 or 13 through 16. That's the tricky part. Maybe review measure 3 and 4 to make sure you're doing that rhythm right. Get that right and then join me here. Okay? From the beginning. With the repeat. Now I count to 3. You play up, bow, and beat 4. And 1, 2, 3. Go. Slow bow. Half note. Half note. Measure 5. Measure 6. Measure 8. Now B. Here comes B. Ready. To measure 1, measure 1. Okay, so that is kind of a long song, all right? So if you got lost in any part of it, just work on that particular section. Don't just keep going back to the beginning. I would suggest 9 through 12, 9 through 12, 9 through 12, 9 through 12, a lot. Okay, that's really the part that people tend to mess up on when you have to skip around, all right? Keep practicing that. Once you know that and you didn't go cheat and put like the finger numbers in and the names of the notes, I'd say when you can play page 31, you know your G string notes really well. But all of page 31, but particularly that song. When you know that, you know your G string notes really, really well, and you'll be ready for anything that comes forward.